Welcome back to another Tea Time with me, Amanda Prochaska. Today we are going to talk about the E in Alice. It's our last of our 5-part series, and it's all about engaging with purpose. And I am so excited about this because it is one of those things that it's very much overlooked. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Before we get started, the buffalo is back. If you watched my Be a Buffalo video, the buffalo is back. But engaging with purpose made me think of that story again around going straight into the storm and getting through the storm faster. Well, people who engage with purpose do just that. So, but my tea of choice today is thinking of you. And I think of all of you out there who are leading change today, and how can you do that more effectively through our overall methodology of Alice. So if you missed the last 4 videos, please go check it out. We talk about acting with authenticity, leading with love, inspiring others, creating community, and last but definitely not least, engaging with purpose. What does engaging with purpose mean? At least at Wonder Services, the way that we look at it is, how do you engage those in your organization and maybe even beyond who are influencing others to do certain actions? So we've noticed this, and we actually have another video, we'll link it below, about influencers and organizations, but we've learned a lot about influence through social media over the last several years. And if you have favorite people that you follow on LinkedIn or Instagram or TikTok, they are likely influencing you to make certain choices in your life, and you love to follow them. I know I have several. If you've followed me on LinkedIn, I talk about my carnivore diet, which has totally revolutionized my health. And the reason why I actually found out about carnivore was through people that I followed on YouTube. So those are influencers. So if we can take those examples from our social life, our social media life, our digital life, and think about how that applies to your organizations. You have influencers across the board who are making people make up their minds about certain things, especially when it comes to change. So I'll give you an example of a super user influencer. And again, please go watch our video on this too. It's an amazing overview of the 5 different types of influencers. But super user influencer is someone like this. So Jane is the person in your organization who knows her stuff. She knows the process around what's going on, how to get the work done. She knows the back ways in the systems to get things done. She knows the right ways too. And people come to her for training, for questions. She is the go-to person when it comes to this process and technology. Now, what happens if she's not on board with your change? People are still going to come to her, and they're going to ask her questions about this change. And she's going to say something like this, like, "Oh, I think it's awful," or I don't think it's going to work," or "I haven't been engaged," or "I don't know how to answer your questions because it's new to me." You don't want any of that going on within your organization. So engaging purposely is really 3 different areas when it comes to influencers. It's understanding who your influencers are, engaging your influencers with purpose, and we'll talk about what that means. And then the last one is listening and responding to those influencers. They are not whining. I'll tell you a story about that a little bit later on too, but they're not whining. It's very important to listen to them. Okay, so we're going to be a buffalo today, and we're going to go dive into number 1. Okay, understanding your influencers. So take a moment to look around your organization when it comes to your change that you're trying to drive forward. Who are the people that other people are going to follow? So these people, like I said, can be all areas of the organization. And this is where a lot of traditional change management programs fall down, is because you do a stakeholder analysis, and usually who gets on the stakeholder list are executives. It's like, okay, well, that's cool. I mean, some people follow the executives, but they really, most of the time, don't have any direct interaction with those executives anyway. They might get a communication via email from them, but real influencers in the organization are those people that other people are naturally following day to day. So let's be more practical and look for those people. And those people, as I mentioned, there's 5 different ones, but they can range from super supporters, like they are the spokesperson for the project, or they are a person who's super jazzed about change and loves technology. They could be on that side. They could also be on the side of we have Susie, who hates change always. It doesn't matter what change it is. She just doesn't like it. She doesn't like change being done to her, which we all at a certain point don't. But she also has a lot of influence and can create that negative flow throughout the organization. So you want to look at all of those people, and then people that are on the fence, or people that, like I mentioned before, get a ton of questions today from other people, and you want those people to truly be engaged in your change, and hopefully supportive. But at least if you engage them correctly, you'll know where they are on that spectrum of things, and you'll be able to hopefully feed them the right information, listen to them, and react where they can have a positive outcome around the change. So that's number 1. Take a moment, scrap. I personally think scrap your stakeholder analysis. Like if some change consultant is coming in and saying we need to do a stakeholder analysis, ask them about influencers and really try to drive that forward, because stakeholder lists are just, you do them and then you don't really use them. Like they just kind of sit out there. And I've been through a lot of those consulting engagements to know that we're like, we did all this work on the stakeholder analysis, and what are we going to do with it? When you go through an influencer analysis, then you create action plans around it, and you really dive into how you're going to engage those stakeholders or those influencers. So number 2, engaging your influencers. So this is how you do it. You have now identified the 5 different types of influencers across the organization that are going to be influential to engage for this change. Then what you do is you understand who already has a relationship with that influencer. It might not be you. It might not be anyone on the project team. It might be someone out in the business. It might be a stakeholder on the, or a leadership member on the project. It could be a variety of different people, but you find someone that already has a relationship with that influencer. And then what you do is you ask that person who has the relationship with the influencer to be accountable for engaging that influencer. And this is not a group meeting scenario. This is usually one-on-one interactions. So the person that is accountable for that influencer will meet with that influencer several times throughout the project. We usually recommend 3 times at least. So you can go through your awareness messaging, you can go through your engagement messaging, and you can go through your support and delight messaging, like what's this going to mean at Go Live. So that person, they meet one-on-one with the influencer. Now there's 2 reasons for that meeting. The first reason is to make sure that the influencer knows what's going on within the project. They feel like they're being pulled in as part of the project. So it's an information share. I should have actually said 3 reasons. I'm thinking of a third right now. The second reason is to listen to feedback, which we will get to here a little bit later on. And then the third reason is to activate them. So in all of our presentations or talking points or conversations that we have with these influencers, there's always a call to action. So if it is Jane, who I mentioned earlier, who's that super user guru, everyone comes to her, it's probably not going to be an action to say, let's bring together your team and do a leadership town hall or something like that. Her call to action is going to be tailored to her, and that's going to be maybe some talking points that she can use. So you formalize some talking points or give her an FAQ document and say, hey, we know that you get a lot of questions today. We want you to be prepared with the answers to the questions around this change, and here they are. Feel free to share them with as many people as you like. And then she feels really well informed. She feels thought of. There's empathy there, and it goes a long way. Now, you could have someone else who, let's just say, is not overly supportive of the change but has a lot of influence. That call to action could be something like, I know you have a ton of questions about this particular change. I would love to hear all of your questions. And then you have a dialogue with that person, understanding what their feedback might be, what they're nervous about, what their fears are. And then you can tailor your responses in future conversations with that person, in future communications, or even other things that you're doing in your change management plan. So the call to action is very unique to that individual and the type of influencer they are. And that's engaging with purpose. We're not talking about the masses. Like, you're not talking about blasting an email to 6,000 people. You're talking about having a group of influencers. Maybe most of our clients, it's like 20 to 30 people, and sometimes even less. So you're engaging those people purposely. And then what happens is it's a beautiful environment to create, where those people are now spreading the word on behalf of your project and your change, and they are well informed, well thought of, cared for, and things go over a lot more effectively. Okay, number 3, and I'm going to take a drink real quick because I'm getting over a cold, so try not to lose my voice too. But okay, number 3 is listening to your influencers. And this is even beyond all of the benefits that I've talked about so far. This is the number one reason why you need to engage with purpose on every single one of your projects, is to listen to them. And here's the game changer. Okay, you have these influencers. They hear and see what's going on within the organization. They're getting questions today. They understand the dynamics, the politics, whatever is going on in your organization. They understand the culture. Encourage the feedback in these one-on-one sessions. So when you're going through the deck, it's more of a or the presentation, whatever you want to call it. It is you're doing that to make sure that you give them an opportunity to ask their questions. And when they ask a question, jot it down. Hopefully you have an answer for it. If you don't, you just say, that is a fantastic question. We have not uncovered the answer to that question yet. I am going to get back to you in our next meeting. That's completely okay. The most important thing is to get them to ask questions and provide feedback. Because here's what you do next. You take all of that. So now you have, let's just say, in this first round of influencer engagement, you have 30 influencers that you've engaged. You now have a meeting with all of those people who are accountable for those influencers, where you collect all of that feedback. So you get all of the questions that were asked, and this is part of the person who's accountable for the influencer's role, is to get those questions noted down and to get the feedback. Then what you do as a change leader is you take all of that information and you incorporate it into your ongoing communications, your ongoing training needs, your ongoing engagement needs. It is how you become an agile change leader, where you're not rigid, right? You're seeking that feedback, because if that influencer has that question, you can guarantee that there are hundreds of other people that have that question. Or if Jane is thinking about feedback for the project, other people are thinking it too. So it's a great way to understand how your change is landing with people, and to reflect and adjust in an agile manner so you can really hit it out of the park at the end of the day. That is gold. Kid you not, it is gold for any change project, to have the opportunity to meet with someone one-on-one, get their questions, get their feedback, and then incorporate. And that's why you engage with purpose. As I said, we love doing these videos. If you've loved this video as much as I did making it, I don't know, I love talking about this stuff. Please subscribe and hit the like button so you don't miss any other of our videos. Again, check out the links below to the 4 other videos that we did on Alice, and then also the link on influencers. You will love that content, and it will help you lead change more effectively in the future. So and one other thing, I'm just gonna call this out. We're launching a brand new website at Wonder Services. So if you wanna see not only video content through YouTube, but also our written content, check out our new webpage. There's a ton of resources out there. It's wonderservices.net. You will not be disappointed. So cheers. Until next time, have a great time leading change.